F.W. Woolworth was a major retail icon with its domination and low prices that would be a part of America for over 100 years. Started in Utica, New York, the first store shut down after its first year in operation, which Frank Woolworth felt was in a bad location. In 1879, it reopened in Lancaster, Pennsylvania to become a huge success. It was known for being the first store to let customers touch the merchandise before buying versus purchasing all items behind the counter. Their buying power made it hard for others to compete, while customers would enjoy the variety of merchandise as well as low prices. By 1909, it would open its first store in England, making the start of its worldwide presence with stores in Canada, Mexico, England, Austria, Germany, and Australia. By 1913, it moved into its new headquarters in New York City. It became the tallest building in the world until 1930. Woolworth would quickly expand to become the largest retailer in the world. It was a huge part of most American cities by the mid-20th century with its very large stores. This three-story Art Deco terracotta store in downtown Seattle was built in 1940, taking up the whole block of 3rd Avenue and Pike Street with its presence for over 50 years. Woolworth had even joined Suburbia after World War II, building stores in most major shopping centers throughout the United States. During the 1940s, it was the largest restaurant chain in the world. Before fast food became a popular lunchtime fare, Woolworths served hundreds of customers per day using lunch counters that would take up the whole side of one part of the store. Their inexpensive prices, fast service, and convenient locations made it a very popular place for many years to come. For most of the Woolworths in the world, the lunch counter could be used by everyone. But in the South, lunch counters were segregated at some locations based on the discretion of the store manager, while allowing African Americans freedom to shop. Employment wasn't a problem as well, working as a clerk in the store or working behind the lunch counter. On February 16, 1960, 4 college students were to make history in the civil rights movement by being paid customers at the Greensboro, North Carolina store while sitting at a lunch counter. Azalea Blair Jr., Franklin E. McCain, Joseph A. McNeil, and David L. Richmond were asked to leave, but they refused. The next day, they were back with 27 supporters. Eventually, protesters would take turns sitting at the lunch counter trying to fill as many seats that were available, while peaceful protesting was conducted outside the store. Other locations in the South were selected using the same protest methods. Management tried to squelch the protesters by closing the lunch counters. Then the police would be notified, but they didn't get involved. White customers would come in to antagonize the protesters by throwing food at them, pulling them from the chairs they sat in, and assaulting them. Many people would see these protests on nightly news shows, causing a public relations problem for the company. The powers that be in New York didn't give in right away until July of 1960, when Woolworths very quietly removed segregation from all of its lunch counters company-wide. By the 1990s, Woolworths saw its worldwide retail dominance shrink. Their variety stores were shut down in the United States, leaving empty buildings in major towns and cities vacant for years to come. The Smithsonian Institute has a piece of the lunch counter with 4 of its empty lunch counter stools for visitors to see. The Greensboro store is now known as the International Civil Rights Museum and Center, enshrining what is left of the black marble lunch counter where history was made while educating its visitors about a dark piece of American history.